And after 10 seconds, I'll go it again. You're very tired. I'm not saying it out loud. It's just in my mind. I'm just imagining that I have the force of will that can, go through your skull into the middle of your skull and expand into some wonderful suggestion. And every time I see you doing something vaguely hypnotic, I'll go, that's right. So the only thing you'll hear me saying is that's right during the induction. Vikram, can I borrow you again? Is that okay? So we're going to do essentially the same thing again, but completely differently. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So you're still going to role play. What we're going to do now in a moment is we start the same way. I'm going to ask you to look into my eyes and so on. And my job is to do three things actually. Number one, I'm going to look at, from what I can see from this side, is your right eye, but it's actually your left eye. So from your possession, it'll be your left eye. From my perspective, it's your right eye, right? So I'm going to make eye contact with that to make sure I'm not just kind of looking in the general direction. What I want you guys to do is to try and memorize or study the person's eye color, right? And if you can see clearly enough, you'll see that it's easier in person, but even with a bigger screen here, it should be easy enough to do. Memorize the eye color. If you can see more details like, little specks in the iris or the actual color or the actual shape of the pupil itself, fantastic. But you're really focused in on that one eye. With me so far? We'll call that the magnetic gaze. It draws in attention, right? And now we're going to do something we call projection. Projecting is essentially something you do internally, something you're imagining, something you're pretending, something you are organizing your mind around, which will cause your subconscious to leak, to project non-verbal communications, body language, tonality, and so on, that will align with the suggestions you're trying to give. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to try and practice that. The way we'll do is, look into my eyes, you pretend to be a great hypnotic subject. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that I have psychic powers, and I can send you a mental command along the lines of sleep, or you're sleepy, you're tired, right? And I'm going to give you a command every 10 seconds. I'll say sleep, and I'll watch you for 10 seconds. And what I want to watch is how you're responding. Every time I see you doing something that looks even vaguely like hypnosis, I'll go, that's right. And that's it, right? And after 10 seconds, I'll go it again. You're very tired. I'm not saying it out loud. It's just in my mind. I'm just imagining that I have the force of will that can, go through your skull into the middle of your skull and expand into some wonderful suggestion. And every time I see you doing something vaguely hypnotic, I'll go, that's right. So the only thing you'll hear me saying is that's right during the induction. When we've had a few minutes of doing that, we'll just count back out in exactly the same way as before. So the exact same induction, only this time you're giving very simple silent commands, and you're leaving 10 seconds of gap so that you can then study the person's reaction whilst maintaining eye contact. So the skill here is keep looking at the eye, but then notice maybe, are they relaxing more? Is their breathing changing? Is their blinking changing? And all that sort of stuff. You as a subject will, of course, just allow yourself to slowly go into trance or pretend to go into a trance as this goes on. Don't do it too quickly, so it gives me a few moments of eye contact to actually get that going. Once your eyes are closed, I will continue to imagine that I can pretend to, send you a mental command. And then when we're done, I'll count you out. Super simple. Easy?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, Vikram, look into my eyes and do not look away. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's right. 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 Mm-hmm. That's it. That's right. That's right. There you go. In a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3. At a count of 3, you'll open your eyes, feeling refreshed, alert, simply fantastic. 1, coming up slowly. 2, taking a fresh breath of air. And 3, eyes open, fully refreshed, alert, simply fantastic. How was that?
Amazing.
If you found this insightful, make sure to subscribe for more fascinating discussions on the power of the mind and hypnosis.